guess who's back? Obviously me. I have just returned from 3 months in Mexico, solo traveling, doing the digital nomad thing, and wow, I have had a blast. Like, what a memorable, unforgettable, special experience. The people I met, the places I went, the things I saw, the things I did. I'm not gonna get too much into it because I've been vlogging along the way, so I've got a bunch of videos that I will link somewhere up here in a playlist so that you can go catch up if you haven't seen them. But today what I wanted to do is go through and unpack. I got in yesterday. I am one of those people who likes to like unpack and do their laundry and like get resettled back home right away after a trip. I do not just like leave my suitcase for a week. Could not. So today I wanted to go through, unpack everything with you and kind of go over things that I brought and whether or not I felt they were helpful or necessary. I did do a pack with me video before I left for my trip, so this is kind of a follow-up to see what are some things I maybe brought and wish I didn't, or what are things that I wish I brought, just reflecting on the things I need when solo traveling and backpacking that I learned over the course of these last few months. So let's start with the bag itself. I got this is the Osprey Fairview, I believe, 40-liter bag. Obviously this little backpack comes off. It does attach to the front. Did I ever attach it to the front? No, because I was always checking this big bag, or like even if I was taking the bus, it was like going underneath the coach bus into like the storage area, and this was my carry-on, so I always wanted to keep it with me. But I do still appreciate that they could be together if I wanted them to be. And overall, I really enjoyed having these bags. They were sturdy, they were practical. I did really love how on this backpack they have obviously the straps and the like waist things for like carrying it, which was super handy for when I actually needed to carry this bag. And there were times when I had to, you know, walk from like my accommodation to a bus stop or things like that, where I was carrying this for quite a bit. So they were really great. And I loved that there was this thing that I could like unroll this cover and just like shove all the straps in here and then zip it up, so that when I was checking this bag on the plane or even like on the bus or whatever, I didn't have to worry about like straps hanging around everywhere, and it was just kind of nice and clean and condensed. Bag held up pretty well. There's no crazy damage on it or anything. Like, sure, it's like a little bit dirty, which is to be expected when you check a bag on the plane. But yeah, overall, I feel like it held up pretty well. And honestly, I was amazed by how much I managed to stuff into it over the course of this trip. I thought my bag was full before going on the trip, but then I bought things on the trip and I still managed to like pack it back up. So I am quite amazed, actually. All right, maybe we'll start with my carry-on and the stuff that I had in there. First of all, water bottle that I like clipped on here. Great idea. Loved that. I don't know, it's just a water bottle. The Hey Birdie alarm, I'm glad I had it. Thankfully, never had to use it, never had a safety emergency or anything. But that being said, I also had it clipped onto this backpack the entire time. And a lot of the times I wasn't actually carrying this backpack around with me, like around town or going out at night or anything like that. So thinking back now, I'm like, that probably wasn't really smart, because any point where I actually would have needed to use this, I might have actually not been carrying this backpack. So next time I probably should just put it on like this like fanny pack that I had, because this is what I was carrying around most of the time. But yeah, I am glad that I have this birdie safety alarm. A lot of people asked me about it when I was on the trip. Obviously, it's one of those things that you hopefully never have to use, but it does give you some peace of mind. eye mask that my sister gave me, which did come in handy quite a bit. So I'm really glad I had that. Definitely worth it to block out extra light, because you never know where you're going to be staying, if it's actually going to be like super dark at night. Like the Airbnb I stayed at in Mexico City for the first few days, it was nice, but I still feel like, I don't know, maybe I'm just like a little more sensitive to light, but this was handy to just kind of be able to fully black out the world and fall asleep. Or when you're in dorms as well. Sometimes I wanted to like go to bed early and other people still had their lights on and stuff. So So eye mask, yes, so worth it. My book that I brought with me, I did read it. That being said, I found it really hard to just stick to like reading one book, because since sometimes I was like not in the mood for this particular book. I wish I had a Kindle or like a Kobo e-reader or something like that. That is something that I think I'm definitely going to invest into for my next trip, because you guys know, like, I'm a big reader. I like reading, and to bring just one book and only have one option, and also like the bulkiness of this book, it was like a little difficult to pack around sometimes. Yeah, I think it would be easier just to get an e-reader and be able to like enjoy my multiple books and have it nice and compact. So that's something I definitely wish I had, and will definitely be getting for my next trip. Tripod came in handy for some photos, content creation, etc. This one it does feel a little like big and bulky, I guess. I feel like you could probably get some smaller ones that maybe are not as sturdy but are a little more travel friendly. That's something I might be looking into, but this definitely got the job done. Not something that I feel is like super necessary if you are not creating content. Like if you are just backpacking for the fun of it, then you probably don't need like a full-on tripod, but I'm definitely glad I had it for my, line of work. Obviously, I had my laptop in here, and this bag has like a little laptop compartment, which was great. I do feel like my laptop got a little, not banged up, but a little like scuffed. I've never really had like a laptop sleeve or laptop like cover, or you know how like MacBooks have those clear ones that just like attach to your laptop. Yeah, I've never felt the need for one, but I feel like if I were to go traveling again, that might be something smart to get, just because I feel like there's some like chips and whatever on it that were not there before. And I'm generally like pretty careful with my stuff, but still, that's something I'll probably get because, this is kind of an important thing. It's how I work. Notebook, glad I brought it because I did do some journaling, write down some memories and whatnot while I was there. And it was also really nice to have something kind of flat where I could put other things in. Like I bought this little art piece when I was in Oaxaca. It was nice to kind of just put it together with some hard flat things so that it didn't get bent. Or I also watercolor painted this at an activity at one of the hostels I was at, and I also like put it in between the pages of this hardcover notebook, which was a great way to like keep it safe, so that was awesome. What else did I have in here? Little cleansing wipes. I never actually used them on the trip, but maybe that just says more about how casual I am about like that kind of stuff. I'll probably still bring a pack with me on every trip just because I feel like they are good to have, but I never actually used it. Little mini flashlight. Again, I don't think I have ever actually used it. Obviously, if I were going on a bit more of like an adventurous backpacking trip, or knew I was going to be doing like more hiking and stuff like that, then maybe that would have come in more handy. I think actually what would be more handy, especially if you're doing hiking like early in the morning, like see sunrise or sunset or something, is like a headlamp as opposed to like a little flashlight. Oh, I did also put air tags in all of my bags, in my carry-on, in my checked luggage, and then also one in like my fanny pack. Thankfully, I never like lost anything, so I never really actually needed to like check in on them or anything, but it was great peace of mind to have it. And on the way back, I did have to take a connecting flight. I don't know, I was just like nervous that they wouldn't get my luggage to the right place like through the connection, so it was kind of nice to be able to like check in on my AirTag. And when I landed back home, I checked in and I was like, oh, okay, my luggage is here as well. That was kind of nice. In this little top pocket here, I've shoved in like my sunglasses. Definitely glad I brought cheap ones because I find like I was just like shoving them into places all the time, so glad I didn't bring my nice sunglasses. Little tissue paper came in handy multiple times because sometimes in the bathrooms in Mexico they just do not have toilet paper. I have learned it is quite helpful to just always have either little tissue paper or little napkins with you at all times when you're out. And then there was also this one time where a bird pooped on me in a park. It was just like a tiny little bit, but I just like felt it like plop onto my shoulder, and obviously it was helpful to have a napkin to just clean that off a little bit. This is actually a cute little change purse pouch thing that I got when I was in Mexico because I realized really quickly that that would be handy to have. Obviously when I was carrying this around, I had my money in this back zipper pocket here, which was super convenient, but sometimes I was carrying around this backpack, or sometimes I had like this tote purse with me instead and didn't use my crossbody. I needed somewhere to put my money, so I got this at a market, which was super cute. Earplugs, also so important, so helpful, especially for dorm living and even just staying in places that are a little bit noisier. In Mexico City, the Airbnb I was at was definitely a little bit loud at night, or again, just for dorms if you wanted to like go to bed earlier and whatnot. I brought a bunch of earplugs and I definitely went through quite a few of them. Pens for writing, obviously, goes with the notebook. This little like pill organizer thing was also definitely super handy to have, just because I was able to put it in my bag or in my tote. And if I was ever doing any kind of overnight stuff, like I took an overnight bus, and it's definitely nice to just have this for your medication or vitamins or whatever, or even just to carry around little bits of like anti-nausea or Tylenol or anything else. It just kind of gave me a lot of peace of mind, and it did come in handy to have things on me without having to like go through my packed stuff. Okay, and finally this little pouch just has a little charger thing so that if I ever ran out of battery on my phone or my phone battery was low, I could just plug it in like that along the bottom here and it would charge my phone as I was still like walking around with it. Came in so handy. I used it so often, and I loved that it was the kind that just like plugs into the bottom of your phone, so you can still kind of use your phone and take it around with you, and also kind of like pack it compactly into here without having like a wire or anything like that. So I am really glad I had that. I actually did buy, I guess we'll go through my tech stuff now, this other charger, which is a little bit bigger, a little bit bulkier. It's also, you know, the same kind of thing, like an external battery pack. I did not use it once. Not only is it heavier to carry around, but like this really did the job. I don't know why I thought I would need two of them. I actually didn't think I would need two of them, but I bought this one and then my sister was like, oh, I actually have this one. So I took this one too, and I only used this one. So to buy like a big bulkier battery pack, I mean, maybe if you do a lot of filming for work, which, you know, I kind of do still for YouTube and whatever, but maybe I guess if you are a little more serious with that kind of stuff, then maybe this is handier. But yeah, I literally never used it. So I would definitely recommend just going with the ones that like plug into the bottom of your phone. Other tech stuff, obviously just my chargers, extension cord bar thing. I mean, does it seem kind of excessive to like bring this whole thing with me? Yeah, but I did use it a couple of times on the trip. So it was handy when I needed to like plug in a lot of different things to charge or to work on my laptop, but also just have plugs. And also there were times where I did need like the extension part of it. I noticed I'm not a big like work from a cafe kind of person, especially a lot of the places I was staying had co-working spaces. I actually prefer just to kind of stay there than go to cafes and whatnot and have to like find a plug and like do all this stuff. Obviously, if you're doing more of that, I think this would be even more handy, but I am glad I brought it and I think I would bring it again. I think it's good to have the option to have an extension cord and to also have a place to plug in a bunch of things. They also have like the USB plugs. So yeah, I think it was worth it. This is like a little, I didn't buy this, my sister just gave it to me. It's like a little selfie light that you put on the top of your laptop for like calls and whatever. It doesn't last very long, so I didn't find it very useful. Most of the places I was staying, you know, like the lighting is good enough, so did not really need that. And then finally, I just had my hard drive, which was, yes, very helpful, obviously, for all of the like YouTube footage and whatnot, especially film on my phone. It like just takes up so much space and I have to constantly like offload it and put a bunch of stuff onto here. And then this little connector thing is just so I can connect this to my laptop. So yeah, so that's it for my carry-on. Let's move on to the big stuff. Actually, first, maybe let's go through like this fanny pack thing. First of all, the bag itself, great. Is it ridiculously dirty now because I got the beige one? Yes. I'm gonna wash it and I'm gonna see if that actually makes it clean again. But yeah, I liked it. It was great. Definitely having this little zipper pocket at the back is great for all of the cash, which I still have some left over for my next trip to Mexico. Don't know when that is, but I know it's gonna happen for sure. So yeah, so that little back pocket was helpful. Obviously space for passport and wallet and all that kind of stuff. It does have the little zipper on the inside as well, which was just handy to put like more stuff in. Right now it's just like some receipts and napkins and whatever. And then there's the little mini front pocket again, which has like more napkins, chapstick, and I would put my keys in there and things like that. So no complaints. This was very handy, very helpful, very convenient to carry around. Oh, also this tote. It's cute. It worked. I would take it to the market all the time and get like my fruits and veggies and all that. And I actually got quite a few compliments on it because it's like woven. That being said, it is just like a little bulkier to carry around. So I was a little annoyed with it at times trying to pack it. So I think I will, I'm just gonna try and get like a normal cotton tote next time. And I think that's just gonna be just a much smarter decision. As cute as this was, I just don't think it's worth the bulkiness. All right. Okay, obviously I've got like a bunch of clothes that I just kind of shoved in here. By the end of the trip, I was just not caring so hard about keeping things organized in here. I just wanted to make everything fit. And I do think that helped. That being said, these packing cubes, they're from Trip Travel Gear if you want to see how I packed them and organized them and how much stuff I fit into them. That is in my pack with me video, which I'll link above so you can check that out. But I am very glad that I got packing cubes, because can you imagine all of my clothes just like rolling around in this bag? I mean, it would have been a disaster. Even though I didn't keep things as like strictly organized as I originally intended to by the end of it, because I was just trying to make things fit, it was so helpful to have things like in these compressed little cubes. That was the medium one. This is my like one of the larger ones where I put all my bottoms. My second large one where I put all my tops. As you can see, they're pretty like compressed. Was definitely a helpful way to keep things organized. Even when I got to hostels, when I was trying to like put my stuff in the little like locker or cubby spaces that they give you, it was really nice to be able to keep things a little bit more separate. So that was great. Yeah, this is another one, which is where I had like my socks and undies and stuff. Also, the set that I got came with this laundry bag, which was super, super handy to have. Obviously, you can put all of your dirty clothes in. This one in particular opens and then you can like roll it up and has a little thing, so I was able to like hang it from, you know, railings or door handles or like whatever. Just have it like conveniently accessible. And then when I went to the laundry place, I would obviously just like carry it, give them the bag, and yeah, that was super convenient. So I loved having this. And part of the set was also this shoe bag where I put my Teva sandals. Speaking of the Teva sandals, are they worth it? Yes, I think so. I wore these like almost non-stop for these 3 months, every day to the market, to the beach, to walk around the city, on excursions, did a little bit of light hiking in them, and they were great. Obviously mine are brown and you can see they are a little bit dirty, so I definitely wouldn't go for like a super light color because they are probably going to look dirty quickly, but I felt like these were perfect because they were neutral, they went with everything, and they were actually so surprisingly comfy. Not a single time did I get any like blisters or have any issues with them, so I'm very, very glad I had them. Like I said, this is the shoe bag that Trip Travel Gear gives you. Even though it's kind of like mesh and see-through, there's like sand in here from the Tevas, so it does actually do a good job of kind of keeping the dirt out of the rest of your stuff if you're packing your shoes in here, which is awesome. Towels. I did bring 2 sets of towels with me. The first were these like travel microfiber towels. The brand is called Svi. I don't know, just got them off of Amazon. I'm gonna link a bunch of the stuff that I got in the description below, by the way, so that you can also shop these things if you are going on a trip. This I loved because not only is it obviously like super compact, condensed, I did take the little bag that it came with so that I could roll it up, but there's also actually 2 towels in here. There's a body towel and there's also a little mini like face towel, which was really nice to have. So that like every day, every morning and night when I go just to like wash my face and whatever, I can just take the little towel with me, and then I have the big towel for like showers and things like that. And there were a few times where we went on excursions and I brought the bigger towel with me just to have like a travel towel for when we went swimming to dry off and whatever after. So yeah, definitely recommend the microfiber travel towels. Very much worth it. Definitely great to have one with you. And then the second towel that I brought with me was this Dock and Bay. It's also a quick dry fiber towel. I'll pull it out. Oh gosh. I did get the extra large size in this one, so it's obviously a pretty large like beach towel if you were to like unravel it. Did work really well in terms of like not getting sand and dirt and stuff stuck on it. You just like shake it off after and it is just completely sand free, which is amazing. And I got the second one because I wanted to have a separation between like beach towel and shower towel, because when I get out of the shower I want to feel clean and I don't want to like dry myself with something that was like on the sand at the beach earlier that day, you know what I mean? The question is like, was it worth bringing a second towel? I think for me, I would say no, just because I've realized not that big of a beach person. I wasn't actually going to the beach and like laying out on the sand as much as I thought I would. And so while it was like nice and convenient to have it, and I think maybe if you have the space for it, if you're more of a beach person and you're like, I'm gonna go to the beach every single day, then it could be worth it. But yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be doing a lot of trips where I'm like spending a month like by the beach. I just don't think that's really my vibe. It's not really helpful for my productivity because I'm like working while I'm doing this. I don't know if this is going to be making it into any of my future backpacking trips. That being said, I did love this towel itself, and I'm definitely going to be using it like at my parents' cottage anytime I actually go to the beach like around here. All right, this just a bar of laundry soap, which I bought when I was there so that I could hand wash certain things, because I definitely didn't want to give some of my like nicer, delicate clothing items when I was bringing my laundry, so I washed them by hand. It's also helpful to have if you're just like running low on like socks or undies or something and you just want to quickly wash something in the sink. That being said, every little bit counts when you're traveling, like in terms of space, and so I bought this like giant bar of soap because that's how they sell them there. Looking back now, I'm like, it probably would have been smart just to bring my own laundry soap and bring like a smaller amount, because you obviously don't need a giant bar. So like even like a quarter of this probably would have been fine. Or I have also heard of people who have little laundry sheets where it's like a little sheet of soap and then it dissolves in the water when you like wash with it. So I might look into that for my next trip, or just bring like a smaller bar. And then in here I have my mini straightener. Which might seem kind of excessive or like bougie to carry around with you, and obviously I definitely didn't like 100% need this, but considering how small it is and it packs up, it was nice to have. I wasn't using it to fully do my hair, but it was more so just to like fix up like my bangs and stuff a little bit for any special occasions. I spent my birthday in Mexico, so I definitely like, you know, wanted to doll up a little bit for that, and feel like it was worth bringing, especially because it's like so small. It's not heavy or anything. Just put it in here, and I feel like it makes a big difference in just making me feel a little more myself, a little more put together, even if I'm not like doing a full hairstyle with it. All right, what else have I got in here? This is a bag with extra earplugs, which we've already talked about. Important. Oh, found more cash. It is good to have cash in different pockets in your bag so that if anything ever happens, you always have emergency cash. Maybe just remember where you put it, because I forgot that I had this 1,000 pesos just sitting there. That's pretty much it in here. I also had this little pouch, which is now empty, but was originally full with a bunch of pads and tampons, which obviously I used, was obviously helpful to have with me. I'm definitely glad I only brought a little bit that I needed for that first little bit, and then I just bought them when I was there. If I were going somewhere and I knew I wasn't going to have my period for a while, I probably just would pack like a super minimal amount, buy what I need when I get there so that I'm not taking up more space in my bag. A thing of band-aids was obviously helpful. There were a few times where I just needed a band-aid, so that was good. I just put a bunch of like receipts and stuff in this little pocket. This was a money belt that my mom or sister gave me. It's like pretty flat. You can kind of put it under your clothes so that your money is like more out of sight and safe. There was no point at which I felt I really needed that. I felt like having my crossbody was totally fine and good enough, so I never actually used this. Maybe there would be certain countries or certain places where you might want something like that, but for Mexico, at least where I was, did not feel like that was necessary. Oh, and finally, this giant lock, which I originally brought to use as my lock for the dorm lockers and stuff. It didn't actually really work or fit well in a lot of the dorms. I just ended up using the luggage lock that I used to like lock up my bag, and I used this in the dorm lockers instead because it's like thinner and flexible. I wouldn't necessarily get this one for next time. I think next time I'm definitely going to go for a lock that is like this but much smaller, because this one is big and the metal part here is like chunky. So yeah, I didn't actually use this, just carried it around for no reason the entire time. Get like a smaller, more compact lock for your dorm lockers. Whew. Okay, and that concludes the unpacking. In terms of clothing, do I feel like I packed appropriately? I think for the most part, yes. That being said, I did end up going to San Cristobal, which is higher altitude in the mountains in Mexico and has a bit of a cooler climate. I didn't know I was going there, so I couldn't have packed appropriately for it, but I do wish I had a little bit warmer clothing for that climate, which would have probably come in handy in Mexico City as well, especially when I was there the first time in January. By the time I was back in April, it was definitely a lot warmer, and so I was wearing shorts and whatnot, but back in January, it definitely, I think, would have been helpful. I mean, I was only there for 3 days, so it wasn't a huge priority, but if I was going there for longer, bringing like jeans and maybe a variety of like warmer things to throw on would have been helpful. Yeah, I'm not gonna go through all of the clothing I brought again because that is in my pack with me video, but suffice it to say that I feel like I packed pretty appropriately for things, and I was glad to have the things I did, and it was definitely helpful to have a lot of clothing that you could like mix and match with like tops and bottoms. The versatility is key, but I am very happy to be back and have access to my full closet again. I mean, I think of myself as a pretty minimal person, and I'm not like a huge fashionista by any means, but I still really missed having a variety of clothing to wear. By the end of 3 months, I was kind of getting tired of wearing the same thing over and over again. So one thing I forgot to mention is just because I've already like started to unpack in the bathroom, this is also from Trip Travel Gear. It is their Toiletries organizer, and it was so worth it. Definitely so helpful to have. Has all of these like little compartments where you can organize all of your toiletries, all of your makeup and medications and anything else you're kind of bringing with you. It was so helpful to have. Love that there's like this little hook on it so you can just hang it wherever you need to. It folds up nice and compact so that you can pack it in your bag. So yeah, I was super happy with that. And it had also come with this like little TSA approved clear bag where you can put all of the stuff that you're bringing like on your carry-on. So I definitely put like my medication in there, some wet wipes, Tylenol, that kind of thing, little mini toothpaste. Also, these liquid IV packets, I was not sure how I was going to feel about them, if they were going to make a difference, if they were going to matter. They were great. Honestly, I used them especially when I was in Puerto Escondido where it was super hot. I felt like I was constantly being dehydrated and sweating. These were amazing. They have the different flavors, and I came back. This one I just have because I forgot that I had it in here, but I drank all of them and they did actually really help me feel more hydrated, more clear-headed, and they were great. So I would bring more of them with me on my next trip. So thank you for coming with me to unpack. I now need to go through this entire mess and do some laundry, do some organization. Thanks again for watching. As I mentioned, if you do want to check out all of the vlogs from my travels, they are on my channel, so I'm gonna link them wherever so you can go watch those. And yes, I am already planning another solo trip at some point this year, so stay tuned. I don't know where I'm going yet, but I am already excited about it. I will catch you in the next one. Bye.